Hello there, my name is Malika, and I love to talk about movies, especially around Christmas time and Halloween, of course. And this might seem like a very obvious choice and may seem like who hasn't seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas? But have you seen the Jim Carrey version, which, in my humble opinion, is the absolute best Grinch movie there is? It is the perfect pairing of the original Dr. Seuss story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and comedy gold. Now, I might be a little biased because Jim Carrey is one of my favorite actors and he is so funny and he is perfect for character acting. And his facial expressions that he does are so the Grinch. You can tell that he practiced the way he walks and his face, and it was all so perfect. And of course, Jim Carrey is so very silly. And the way they did the Grinch's comedy in this one was so perfect. It is so the Grinch. He's mischievous, he's nasty in a funny way. He likes to eat onions raw and then he rubs them on his armpits and he's got stinky socks and he's so funny in this movie. They did such a brilliant job making the Grinch funny. The first time we see the Grinch is when he's going along the little Whoville village and people are saying Merry Christmas, and of course he's making these snide little remarks, and someone loses a tire and he's got a saw behind his back and he walks away and then he hands the saw to the kids, and he's just a mischievous guy. He's got bad breath. They just do it so well. And one of the things that really stands out about this movie is the makeup. Now, Jim Carrey says that he had to go through training from the CIA or the FBI on how to withstand torture because he felt like he was being buried alive in this makeup. But the effect in the final product was perfect. The Who's look like Who's, and he looks like the Grinch fully. Now, of course, they had to add quite a bit of storyline onto the original story of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and the way they did it was so funny. They made a storyline where the Grinch had come down in a basket like all the other Who's do, but he got stuck in a tree, and his two parents were these two little old ladies. They were at a key exchange party, like upside down pineapple key exchange party, if you know what I'm getting at. And of course, children don't understand that reference. So for parents to watch that, it's so funny because we're just laughing to ourselves and no kids really understand that reference. They're just putting keys in a bowl and having a grand old time. So hilarious. They also have the storyline of him growing up a little bit in school. There was Martha Mayhew, who was the prettiest Who, and she has a little crush on the Grinch. But the mayor, who turns into the mayor, has a crush on Martha May and makes fun of the Grinch. So after being humiliated by this kid that turns out to be the mayor, he goes off and says he hates Christmas, and that's when he goes into his cave, which is up on Mount Crumpet. Now, another fun storyline they brought more life to was the Cindy Lou Who character. And the movie starts with a lot of conspicuous consumption. There's just full-on crazy things going on, kind of like Black Friday sales going on all the time. For the next 5 minutes, everything is 99% off, and everyone's rushing to send gifts. And Cindy Lou Who is like, is this really what Christmas is? I feel like this isn't what Christmas is about. So she's kind of having an internal struggle that way. And she runs across the Grinch, who was doing some mischievous stuff like unsorting the mail and giving everybody jury duty and pink slips. Just silly stuff. Well, she runs across him, falls into a mail sorter, and he rescues her out of that. Begrudgingly, of course, because it's the Grinch. He's not trying to grow his heart any. In fact, he takes pride in his heart shrinking every now and then. And he says at one point, and this time I'll keep it off. Just silly little jokes that they bring into that original story that make it perfect. So of course, because the Grinch has saved her, she sees a different sweet side of the Grinch, and she's convinced that the Grinch is a good person and he should be part of Christmas, and he should receive letters and get gifts and just be part of the whole jubilation. So she nominates the Grinch to be the Cheermeister. Of course, the mayor, there's a lot of jokes that come with the mayor, who is very controlling and very into his position as mayor and thinks very highly of himself. He always wins Cheermeister. So he is very against the Grinch being the Cheermeister, but she talks everybody into it. And the Grinch, when she goes to him, he's like, so it's going to be a town full of losers. And that's so Jim Carrey in that part. If you know the Ace Ventura movies, he says, loser. I actually have a t-shirt of that phrase because I love it so much. And he says it in this movie. And it's just funny that the Grinch wants to go to this Cheermeister thing because he's the winner and there's a town full of losers. It's so the Grinch and so cute. So, of course, he decides to go. And Martha Mayhew is there, and she gets proposed to by the mayor with this gigantic ring, which is 3-tiered, and this big car. He goes, generously funded by the taxpayers. Just little bitty jokes in there that make it all the more funny. And of course, again, kids aren't really going to catch on to that, but adults will. So it makes the movie fun for the entire family, not just kids. Because a lot of Christmas movies tend to be silly or hokey, but this one, perfect. Nothing was overt so that it was inappropriate, but they have little jokes in there that make it fun for the adults too. Now at this jubilation, of course, the mayor humiliates the Grinch by giving him the reward for winning Cheermeister, which is a razor. That's how he had originally humiliated the Grinch, because the Grinch is hairy, and as a kid, being hairy is not the best thing. So the Grinch goes on a rampage. He burns down the Christmas tree, and he's mad, and he goes back up to Crumpet, and that's when he decides that he's going to steal Christmas. So as you can see, they come up with this huge storyline that really complements the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas without taking it away from the original story. They stay true to it, which they should because it's a fantastic story. And then they add in all these fun humor that's funny for kids and funny for adults. So to me, it's that perfect holiday movie. And of course, Jim Carrey. I will watch anything with Jim Carrey in it. And even with him going around to each house and pulling out all the gifts and stuff, they find funny ways to add on to the storyline that way, where he lets out moths to get rid of all the stockings, and he's using this vacuum to suck everything up. And there's a lot of funny scenes that are going on with that. And at the end, when the mayor sees all the destruction that the Grinch has done, he is bashing Cindy Lou Who for inviting the Grinch and says, see, if there's a Grinch, there's no Christmas. Well, her dad stands up to him and says, nope, Cindy Lou Who is right. It shouldn't be about gifts and stuff. Christmas is about community and love and family. That's when the song starts. And the Grinch hears the song, and just like in the story, he realizes it's not about all this stuff. And the movie ends the way the story ends, except they added their own little touches with the Martha Mayhew and how he ends up with Martha Mayhew, the prettiest Who in Whoville. It's just a very cute way to do the Grinch. And I honestly can't say enough good things about this movie. It's the perfect holiday movie, hilarious, and it stays true to that original Dr. Seuss story, which I find heartwarming because everybody loves Dr. Seuss. I hope. I hope you enjoyed this Movie Chat Monday, and I hope to see you next Monday. And I hope you enjoy your holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas or not.